Shalom, Israel. Can you hear me? Shalom, Israel. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Can you hear me, Israel? Testing, testing, 1, 2. Israel, can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2. Israel, can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2. Test, test, 1, 2. Israel, can you hear me? Shalom. Shalom. Testing, 1, 2. Israel, can you hear me? Shalom, Israel, can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2. Israel, can you hear me? Testing. Israel, can you hear me? Israel, can you hear me, Israel? How about now? How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, Israel? Israel. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Shalom, shalom. All right. Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Shalom, Israel. Can you hear me now? All praises. Sorry about that. This thing kept muting on us spontaneously, but we're back on. Uh, can you brothers check on YouTube as well? We will be going live on Periscope shortly. The officer is ready to start the class. Shalom, shalom. Most High Christ bless. Shalom, shalom. Most High Christ bless. Shalom, shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Shalom, shalom. Most High Christ bless. I can't see people. Shalom, shalom. Most High Christ bless. All right. Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless. Tonight's class is what manner of person shall I be? What manner of person shall I be? Because a lot of people come into this truth and they automatically want a wife. They want a wife right off the back. Or some brothers wants to be a leader right off the back. Or some sisters want to know what manner of sisters they should be in order to get a husband, or what should they be in this truth to be recognized as an elder sister or a sister to go up to for advice or counsel. So that's what today's class is about. What manner of person shall I be? We're going to start off with Romans 15, verse 4. All right, read it. So the Bible says, whatsoever thing was written aforetime, meaning things that were written in the past was what?
Were written for our learning.
So that's the key thing. They say black people do not like to read, and when we don't read, we don't learn. So if we're looking to change our character or our personalities, to change every aspect about our spirits and our life, we have to read the scriptures, have to go into the history of our forefathers as well as our foremothers. Because we wonder, some brothers and sisters wonder why they never change. Wonder why year after year they stay the same. Because they're not reading and applying. Like I said before, this Bible is a script, and we're in rehearsal. We're to study the lines, become the characters, act out the characters, and fit the role, fit the position that God cast us to be. Read that again.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So we tell people to study day and night. If you want to change, you want to be a better person, you want to change yourself, read the Bible, study, become the scriptures. Picture your forefathers and foremothers in your place. Like they always say the term, what would Jesus do? In a particular moment, what would David do if he was in a situation? What would Joseph do when he was in a situation? What would Abraham say? We always got to put ourselves in that situation. Okay, you're in a bunch, you're with a bunch of colleagues and they talk about wickedness. What would the disciples do if they brought that wicked conversation? Because the old us would entertain it. We'll be comfortable with it. But if we think and put our mindsets in the disciples or in our foremothers' mind, what would they do? They'll try to flip it and bring the conversation, geared towards them. They will control the whole situation. So whenever you're pressed in a situation, you got to think upon, meditate on, okay, which forefather was involved in the situation, and apply exactly what they did. Read that one more time.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
That we, through patience, because it takes time to change. Some people it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Some people it takes their whole life to change because, like I said, a lot of us are coming to this truth already stuck in our waves. Already stuck in our waves. So it's going to take constant prayer, practice, application. and also being around brothers and sisters. You see a skill or gift in a brother or sister, or characteristics that you like, you want to be around that brother or sister as much as you can. Study their mannerisms, study the way they talk, study the way they walk. Read on. Is that it? Get Job 8, verse 8. The book of Job 8, verse 8. Let me get it first. All right, proceed.
Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee.
So the Bible says to inquire, to ask questions. In order to ask questions, you have to read. In order to inquire, you have to study. Some people on a daily basis never inquire or have any questions because they don't study. They don't know what questions to ask. Read.
Of the former age.
So we're supposed to inquire of the former age, of the past. Because they always say in order to get ahead, you have to know your past so you won't commit the same mistakes. You have to know the past in order not to commit the same mistakes, in order to progress. We got to study what, that's why, like I said, a lot of people, we study Black Wall Street for economics. We study Marcus Garvey. That's how, as far as our people could go to see how they was able to set up organizations or how to properly lead the people. Now, coming back to this Bible, we're able to go into the scriptures and say, you know what? We have a better blueprint now. We have the way our forefathers did it through the Most High. We have community economics. We see how to talk to brothers and sisters, how to gather, how to bring our monies together. Read.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
We had to prepare ourselves to the search of our fathers. To prepare meaning we have to meditate, meaning have set up a study schedule, put time aside to prepare yourself to the what?
To prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
You have to prepare yourself to the search of your fathers. See where you are lacking in your spirit. What do you want to better yourself in this truth? I know when I came into this truth, I said, I want to be a man of the Lord. I want to be a strong and mighty man. That's the spirit I want. So what I do, I asked the bishop, how do I become you? How to become a David? How to become your deacons? I want to be, I told him straight up, I want to be like you guys. You guys are my inspiration. Or how do I become like Christ? How do I speak like Christ? How do people how do they look at me and say, you know what, that brother has the spirit of God in him. That brother's strong spirit. He's a courageous brother. How do I get the same how do I have the same characteristics of my forefathers? I prepare myself. I find out what I'm lacking, and I look in the forefathers, the spirits that I want. I study their spirit, and I practice being to them. Read.
For we are but of yesterday.
We are but of yesterday. We have not been born on this earth too long. And a lot of us are but yesterday, meaning we just came to this truth a month ago, 5 months ago, a year ago, 6, 7 years ago. That's but of yesterday. When you come to this truth, you're born again. When you become new, you're trying to renew your spirit into the spirit of our forefathers and foremothers. We are but of yesterday. Read.
And know nothing.
We know nothing. Only thing we know is what TV has taught us what a man should be like. TV has taught the black man, in order to be a man, you have to be a thug. You have to be disrespectful. You got to call your women bees and hoes. You have to fight anybody that speaks to you disrespectfully. You have to purchase a gun and kill your brother to be a man. You got to have the best car. You got to have the best clothing to be a man. Huh? You got to get all the women, all the digits to be a man. They say, listen, son, you want to be a man, you got to get all the women. You got to get these numbers. That's how you measure yourself being a man. Or the women, how to be a woman, you got to be loud, boisterous. You got to be disrespectful. You got to be independent. A real woman is independent. Self-choice, mean over their body. I'm a woman. I could abort my child. Strong woman. Equal to the man. That's what we were taught. But read that again. That last part.
For we are but of yesterday and know nothing.
And we know nothing. And sometimes we'll take on our environment. Whether you go to school, a lot of sisters, young sisters, are plagued with peer pressure. They say, you know what? I know this is the right way I'm supposed to be, but I should maybe. It's cooler to be them. They're getting more attention. Or the brothers in school, going to school, they're peer pressure. I'm not getting any love from brothers and sisters. Let me be like that person. In order to be cool, I gotta smoke weed. In order to be cool, I gotta smoke a cigarette. In order to be cool, I gotta get the best car with the biggest rims. In order to be cool, I gotta have the best gear. In order to be cool, I gotta be able to curse the most. I gotta be the most disrespectful in class to my teachers. I gotta sag my pants the lowest. I gotta sag my pants, have Jordan shoes, and wear Gucci shades. That's what make me a man. Read on.
Because our days upon earth are a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Shall not they teach thee
Uh-huh.
and tell thee and utter words out of their heart?
Mm-hmm.
Can the rush grow up without mire?
Mm-hmm.
Can the flag grow without water? Whilst it is yet in his greenness.
So this Bible is supposed to teach us while we're upon this earth how to conduct ourselves as a man and as a woman. What manner of person shall we be? Give me 1 Kings chapter 2. Because a lot of people come into the truth, they say, yo, why am I not changing? I read the scriptures all the time. Why am I not becoming the scriptures? Why am my spirit not changing? Why am I doing the same things? Listen, just reading alone, the scripture, the words alone, like the actual words, is not going to change you. You cannot read a scripture and then boom, you change to that person. You convert to that person. That's not how things work. That's why it says things written aforetime were written for a learning. If you want to become something, take on characteristics of someone or one of the forefathers and foremothers, there's certain things that you have to do to meet those characteristics or those personalities. Give me 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1.
1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die.
So David was Solomon's father. A lot of us did not have a father in this world. Read.
And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore.
So what father is able to say that to the child when they're dying? Listen, son, I'm about to leave this earth. What father or which mother is able to tell her daughter, or father is able to tell his daughter, listen, I'm leaving this earth. This is how you're supposed to be. Now, when I'm gone, my son, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to be a man. This is how you're supposed to be a woman. We don't have that guy, and our people are left on their own. They're left on their own to figure out how to be a man or a woman on their own. And that's why you have, you look at men and women in the community, in a black community, Latin, Hispanic community, you look at each other with amazement. You say, damn, what the hell is wrong with this? Yo, what's wrong with you? And you ask yourself the question, yo, what is wrong with you? Why do you act like this? I kid you not. I'm telling you. I told you, I think the Most High put me in my job for a reason, work in the school system, because I'm able to see the effects of everything. I'm like this. Why are these boys acting like this? Why are these women acting like this? And then I see the mother, and there's no father. And I saw the other day, the mother came to the school. The boy's always gets in trouble. I try to take on the boy, show him some knowledge, teach it, talk to him, bring him up. But he's always getting in trouble. I'm like, yo, that's not cool. He's always trying to sleep with the girls. Always trying to, sleep with this boy's a little nasty one. He's nasty. Trying to sleep with the teachers. All types of wickedness. I'm like, bro, that's not cool. I'm trying to teach him. I'm like, yo, he's disrespectful. Trying to fight the vice principal. All that. So his mother comes to the school. And then I said, oh, I want to give him a hug. But I understand. Give him a hug like this. I understand. It's not your fault. It's not your fault you're this way. The mother...
Why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't you tell me, brother? I would have mercy on you. You know what? I cry with him like, it's not your fault, man. I understand you. I understand now. Damn, the mother had green... The mother looked like a damn leprechaun. A 4-leaf clover. She had green hair. She was real light-skinned with green hair. She had tattoos all over her face, her son tattooed her face, dressed like a hoochie mama. Then aunt threatened to beat up the principal. I said, damn. I'm like, yo. And then, was he going to say something?
When you see something like that, you wake up to that every morning,
Oh, man.
you're mad. You wake out the house mad.
Damn fly got on my teeth. About to Mr. Miyagi that thing. All right. Brother out the spirit. All right, read on.
Verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore. And
be thou strong, therefore. We are to be strong. Being strong is not how many brothers you could beat up, not how many people you could kill. That's not being strong. A strong woman is not how loud you are, how independent you are, how many people you can fight, how many boys you can fight. That's not a strong woman. Read.
And show thyself a man.
Show thyself a man. Brothers get mad. We tell you ain't man. When you come in the truth, you're a boy. You're a baby. You're a fetus. Some of you are sperm. You just came in as truth. You're not a man yet. You have not learned the characteristics of how it is to be strong. Read.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God.
We're supposed to keep the charge. Whatever's charged to us in the scriptures, we're supposed to keep that. Read.
To walk in his ways.
We're supposed to walk in his ways. The way you build up that strong characteristic is to walk in his ways. To walk in his ways. Whatever he tells us to do, whatever's documented, recorded in the scriptures, we're supposed to walk in it. Fit the description. Read.
To keep his statutes.
To keep his statutes is how we become strong. Read.
And his commandments.
And his commandments. Read.
And his judgments.
And
his testimonies.
Read.
As it is written.
Read.
In the law of Moses.
Wait, is it written in Ebony magazines?
In the law of Moses.
Is it written in BT?
In the law of Moses.
That's how you become a man. The people we're supposed to fashion ourselves after is our foremothers, written in the law of Moses, in this Bible. Now, get me Sirach 37, verse 12. Is there more of that? Then we read to verse 4.
More.
Read.
That thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself.
So that we may prosper in anything we do. And whatsoever we turn ourselves. We was in Newark the other day. This 24-year-old boy. I call him a boy because he's acting like one. He's only a couple years younger than me. But this 24-year-old boy, he has a boy mentality. He's been listening to his truth for a year since the last time we saw him. I told him. I said, listen, it's time to grow up, be a man, and take responsibilities. He didn't want to listen. I said, on us, the Most High is going to kill you. 3 weeks later, he said he got shot 6 times. 3 weeks later, he said the first thing he can remember, when I told him, the Most High is going to kill you. And that's when he's tried to, come to the knowledge that he's Israel. But he's still, still hustling and stuff like that. I told him, I said, bro, notice the difference in our lives and your life. You're selling drugs to make ends meet. You're selling drugs. You're gangbanging. You're in the streets. You don't have a job. You have children, and you live and you don't have your own place. I said, bruh, all of us, we have a job because this truth has taught us responsibility. We fashion ourselves after the scriptures. We have a job. Most of us have wives. Either we live in an apartment or some of us have homes or go looking to buy homes. Some of us actually bought cars. We're not looking past, looking behind us. We're taking care of our children, our women. We're not on child support. We're not running for the cops. But we're taking responsibility. We're being strong. We're leading our household. We're leading our children. Everybody's in order. Because why? We follow the scriptures. And that's what makes you strong. That's what makes you a man. Taking on responsibility because the law teaches a man how to be responsible. A man is responsible. A man, the characteristics of a man and being strong is a man that's responsible, that conducts himself upright, that takes care of his family, that doesn't pimp his woman out, that's able to remain temperate, to control his spirit, to be disciplined. That's a real man. To abstain from some sexual lust, from your pleasures, that's a man. Read on.
Sirach chapter 37, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
But be
Read on.
but be continually with a godly man,
Uh-huh.
whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
So Sirach 37, verse 12. So how do we take on these characteristics? How do we take on these characteristics of a man? Or how do we take on these characteristics of a woman? You see a woman that has certain characteristics. Wow, she's dainty. Wow, she's very feminine. She doesn't speak loud. Aha, yeah, he's trying to land on my teeth. Uh-huh. All right. So, how do we take on certain some of these characteristics? You gotta be what? Read.
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
So, in order to transform into the characteristics of a man or a true woman of God or daughter of Sarah, you have to be what?
But be continually with a godly man.
You have to be continually with a godly man or a godly woman. You have to be continually with a godly man or a godly woman. Talk to them on the phone. Try to be around them on the Sabbath days. Try to be around them during the weekdays. Try to be around them as much as possible. Study their mannerism, their characteristics, how they talk to people, how they talk to the husband, how they talk to men, women, how they deal with their business. These are the things that you're supposed to do. Because a lot of us get prideful. And and that's when we develop the spirit of hatred a lot of times. We develop an evil eye because we don't look for the good in others. When you look for the good in others, that'll build you up to be a better person. It's called trading talents. You observe and try and say, I like this person, brother. Sister, I like the way how you talk. I like your feminine quality. How do I get that? She'll work with you. Oh, she sees you slipping. Sis, that wasn't the spirit. What you did was not what women is not what women's supposed to do. Or brothers come, they standing all homo. The hands on the hips. You know how effeminate men or sodomite men stand. Their hand on the hip, their back arch like this. That's the gay stance. You know the gay stance. I seen a brother with the gay stance one time. I had to pull him aside. I said, bro, that stance is very suspect. But him being around us, I was able to correct it. He doesn't stand like that anymore. Yeah, other brothers that stood like this, all caved in. I said, bruh, that's not the posture of a man. Now brothers standing mighty, strong and tall. He looks tall. He's standing tall. Some brothers talk like Minnie Mouse and birds. You about to say something?
I was gonna say all praises.
Oh. Yeah. Some brothers and sisters, some brothers talk like Minnie Mouse and birds. They say, no, bruh, this is how you speak. So that's why or sisters talk like a man. Yo, son, what's good? Give me pounds and chest bumps. Walking. Oh, we had a sister that used to walk. I remember in the New York school. She used to walk like this. She used to walk like she played football. And what made it worse, she was a big woman, and she walked like she played football. And brothers looked at that. They said, damn, she might tackle me. I don't know if that's a sister for me. But she had to be around. Well, she's out the truth now. But you have to be what?
But be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
You got to be with a man or a woman whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord. Read.
Whose mind is according to thy mind.
Whose mind is according to thy mind. That's why we tell people to congregate. People that are like-minded. You see a person that you want to be, you want to, okay, that person's mind is like the mind I want to be. So to be continually, the Most High says, read.
And will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry.
Mm-hmm. Get me the scripture I miss. Get me Sirach chapter 6. Give me 1 second when it says in elders. Is it 632? Nope. Verse 34. Sirach 6, verse 34.
Sirach chapter 6, verse 34.
Mm-hmm.
Stand in the multitude of the elders.
Stand in the multitude of the elders. You want to stand in the multitude of the people, the brothers and sisters that been around more than you, that was in the truth longer than you. Because some of you come in this truth, and you're always just with people that's been in the truth for maybe 5 months, a year. People that came in the truth with you. How do you expect to grow if you're always with somebody that's been in the truth the same amount of time with you? You're not going to grow. You're going to stay stagnant. You're not going to grow. That's why it says always be continually with a godly man. And a godly man, you should be around people that have more time in its truth. Read that again.
Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise.
And cleave unto him that are wise. The younger women are supposed to always be around the older woman. The younger woman should always be around the older women. Learn how to cook, learn how to clean, learn how to talk, learn how to walk, learn how to dress, learning fragrances, oils, learning gardening, learning sewing. Even the women that come in this truth for the first time, that's new in the truth, that's babies in the truth, they should be doing the same thing. They don't know how to cook, learn how to cook, learn how to sew, learn how to walk, learn how to talk, learning oils and fragrances, or brothers, learn how to walk, learn how to talk, learning, also hygiene. Some brothers stink too, personal, hygiene, upkeep, learning how to, balance their finances, learn how to save. Read.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse. So some people like to talk, give their 2 cents. Think because they read a couple of scriptures, they know everything. No, you don't know anything. The best thing to do when you're around elder sisters or elder brothers is to be willing to what?
Be willing to hear every godly discourse.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse. In this truth, you should be willing to hear every godly discourse. So you look, like Peter, John was always who had Christ's bosom, right? For what? He was always like this at Christ. Because he wanted to be like Christ. So he's always on his bosom, always want to hear everything he's saying. How Christ talk, how he conduct himself. Why do you think the disciples, wait, I'll get that in a second. Read.
And let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
Mm-hmm.
And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes to him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Why do you think in your work position, in a workforce, they have somebody called a mentor? And a mentor is supposed to bring you up to date. The mentor is supposed to bring you and to fit in the characteristics of that company, to be the best worker that you can be. It's the same thing in this truth. You're supposed to have mentors in this truth that's supposed to bring you up to date. That's why we set people over people, to bring you to a higher level. Like even in the workforce, even though these people are wicked as hell, sometimes I say, okay, I want to be better at my position, or there's something I like of them. What they do. I'll observe them, and I'll take that characteristic, but what? Towards the truth. Or I'll take that characteristic in terms of my workforce. It's the same thing. I said, okay, I like how he works better. I like how he did this. Or teach, like I'm a teacher, so I like how they taught this way. So I'll go into classrooms and just sit there and watch. During my free periods, I just look at them. Look how they talk to the children. Look how they deal with the children. Look how they do seatings. How they do the homework. I look at all that. I've been to at least 7 classrooms. I just stayed in the whole class and observed them. How they talk, their posture, their positioning. I said, okay, well, that's all praises. Now, the kids are finally responding to me, positively. Because why? I took everything I learned. It's called scaffolding. I took everything I learned and I stacked that knowledge on top of each other and I made it my own. Now, I saw them, what they were, I became them. I'm become them and even better. So that's what you want to do in this truth. Is there anything else on it? What does that say?
Verse 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord.
That's it. Give me Acts chapter 4. This just popped in my head. When it said that I perceived that they were with Christ. Is that it? Yes. Sure. Yes, that's it.
Acts chapter 4, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John,
Mm-hmm.
and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men,
Mm-hmm.
they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you brothers a question. Was Christ alive at this moment? At this point? Was Christ alive? We're in Acts chapter 4, verse 13.
No.
No, he was not, right? So read that again. Stand up.
Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus.
So how would they be able to take knowledge that they would have been with Christ if Christ was not alive? Think about it. They don't know that they was with Christ or not. They have no clue.
By being around the elders and the learned men.
By being around who?
Peter and John.
Read it again.
Now, when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus.
Hey, you cheating? Hey, Uriel, you cheating? You cheating, brother? Yeah, I'll call you out. You gave him the answer? You sure? Oh, my bad, brother. I was ready to tear you up, brother. I always got the sword ready to draw out. All right, we now. Okay. Now, what's the answer?
I don't know.
All right, sit down. Daryl, right? Legally? It's Daryl. So you faking the funk?
Yeah.
Hezron. All right.
Yeah, so how they conducted themselves, they perceived that they were taught by Christ,
Okay, so that means the disciples had to be what?
followers of Christ.
Around Christ.
Right.
They had to be always around Christ. Think about it. For someone to say that, yo, they've been with Christ when Christ was not around, that means the disciples studied Christ. They apply these scriptures. Be continually with a godly man. And what happened? They start to take on the characteristics of him. Even the man was not alive. Because you have people, they'll come up to us, we'll come to different states. They'll say, oh, you guys been around the elder. They'll know because why? We took on certain characteristics of the elder. Or like Officer Yan, they'll be like this, oh, Officer Yan teaches like, this person, that person, that person. Because why? He's been around the deacons and the elders all the time. So we got to fashion ourselves. Or, Officer Leon, they'll be like, oh, he's like Deacon Yawsop. Or, you see brothers take on certain characteristics of other brothers. Or some people might say the bishop teaches like Arya and Yeshaya from the old school because he was always around them. When you see Deacon Yawsop, he teaches just like Arya. Exactly. I mean, you got to see it. It's like, you have other Israelite camps call him, little, that's Arya right there, young Arya right there. Because he was always around him. That's why you got to be continually with a godly man, godly woman. You see the characteristics, the people you want to be like, be around them, because eventually you're not even going to know it. You're going to take on the characteristics, not even knowing. So that's why the scripture says be continually with a godly man or woman that knows to keep the commandments. Always stand in the multitude of the elders. All right? Get me Exodus chapter 24, verse 13. Yeah, it's too hot, though.
Exodus chapter 24, verse 13. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua. And Moses went up into the mount of God,
So when Moses rose up and his minister Joshua, what you're going to notice is Joshua was always with Moses. Joshua was always with Moses. Give me Exodus 34, verse 11.
Exodus chapter 34, verse 11. Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite.
Wait, is that it? Exodus 34, verse 11. It says Joshua was a young man. 1 second. Give Exodus 24, verse, I'd read 13, right? 1 second. Wrong scripture I wrote. Talk.
Hey, shalom, Israel. How's everybody out there?
Oh, man.
Nah,
33, verse 11.
What is it?
Exodus 33, verse 11. Dang, I thought that brother would be able to teach us Shalom, Israel. How's everybody doing out there? Brother failed miserably. Exodus 33, verse 11.
Exodus chapter 33, verse 11. And the Lord spake unto Moses face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses face to face. As a what?
As a man speaketh unto his friend.
You see that? Showing you another characteristic of a man. Speaking to a man face to face. Some men are scared and don't like to face problems face to face or talk to men face to face. They run away from problems. But that's another characteristic the Most High is showing you of a man. Read on.
And he turned again into the camp.
Uh-huh.
But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle.
So it showed you Joshua was a young man always with Moses, always observing Moses, always at, like Christ was, John was at Christ's bosom. The same thing, Joshua was at Moses' bosom. Get me Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 14.
Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thy days approach that thou must die.
So just like David said unto Solomon that he was going to die, the Lord said also to Moses that you're going to die. Read on.
Call Joshua and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation.
So he said, God told Moses to call Joshua. Read.
That I may give him a charge.
That he may give him a charge. Why would God tell Moses to call Joshua that he may give him a charge? Azriel?
Because Joshua took on the characteristics of Moses.
Very good. He took on the characteristics of Moses. Moses was a leader. Moses was a man according to the Lord. Moses walked in all the ways of the Lord, the way he as he commanded him. So Joshua, being a young man, always around Moses, took on the characteristics and the spirit of Moses, and be able to do that, he's able to lead the charge. He's able to fill his position. That's like going to the scripture in Sirach chapter 10. He left unto him. Read that. Read on. Let me get that.
I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Read on.
Verse 15. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them.
Now jump to verse 23. So God is showing to Moses, listen, you're going to die. And after you die, this people is going to rise up. They're going to go into idolatry. They're going to go off. Read verse 23 now.
Verse 23. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge.
So this is the charge that he gave Joshua after Moses was going to die. Read.
And said, be strong and of a good courage.
You notice how David said the same thing. To be strong and of a good courage. Read.
For thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them. And I will be with thee. And it came to pass.
So he said the same thing, to be strong and of good courage. How do you be strong and good courage? By keeping his commandments. Fashion yourself after your forefathers and foremothers. Fitting the characteristics. Get me 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 27 now. So the Most High, in two different instances, you see David spoke to Solomon to be strong and of good courage. You see, actually get me Joshua 1 verse 6. Joshua 1 verse 6. How do you be strong and of good courage?
Joshua chapter 1 verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. For unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them.
Read on.
Only, verse 7, only be thou strong and very courageous.
It says, be thou strong and very courageous. We got to be strong and very courageous. Read.
That thou mayest observe to do according to all the law.
And because think about it, it takes a strong man or a strong woman and very courageous to do according to all that. That's why I said this makes you strong. It takes strength to abstain from your sexual desires or lust. It takes strength to say, you know what? Today, I'm going to put down the cigarette. That takes strength because nicotine is an addiction. And that thing affects your mind mentally. It takes strength to overcome that. It takes strength for a sister to humble herself and not, go back and forth. Because I saw this. I know these sisters, your young little sisters in my class I teach. I said, yo, don't go back and forth with the boys. Don't do it. I said, yo, abstain yourself. Don't go. No, they said he called me a B. I said, don't do it. I said, let me deal with it. And you can see, after I told them, and the guy started messing with her again, and she's like this. Starts shaking like this, head shaking. I can see he's like blood come out the eyes. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? You can see she's looking at me, and she's like this, Mister. I'm like, no, don't do it. And she starts shaking, but that takes strength, self-control to be able to not, do what you used to do. It takes self-control for a brother not to go out and every woman that comes to you to have sex with her. It takes strength for a brother. Well, it shouldn't take strength for a brother to take care of kids. Well, and now it does, right? It takes strength nowadays for a brother to take care of his kids or his wife. It takes strength for the young boy, the young girl, that's sister that's in school, to not give into peer pressure. That's hard. Let me tell you something about peer pressure. Peer pressure is something else. When you see everybody else that's doing it around you, you want to do it too. You see that's why a lot of us got involved in what we're in. Smoking weed. What was it? Peer pressure. Oh, it's cool to have sex. Oh, you didn't lose your virginity. You're whack. You're not cool. You're not cool. You're not a cool girl. You're not a woman. Or they'll say, you're not a woman until you lose your virginity. No, you're not a woman until you save your virginity. You save yourself for a husband. That's strength. To save yourself for a husband, that is real strength. Or brother save himself for a wife, that's strength. It takes strength not to spend your check on a strip club, or a prostitute. That takes strength because brothers used to do that in the world. It takes strength not to knock a Negro out. It takes strength not to spend all your finances on liquor or your lust or gambling or what? On Jordans. That takes strength because think about it. All these things that we've done in the world is coming like it takes strength to abstain from getting Jordans, all these pairs of Jordans. That's covetousness. Or giving to or committing adultery. All these things take strength, discipline. Read on.
Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law.
Well, I think a lot of people say, you know what? A lot of people say, yo, I can't give it up. They're weak. They're weak. They're weak. If you can't, they say, I can't give it up. Brothers tell us all the time. You know, you teach people in the world, you're like, nah, I can't give them up. One brother said, I said, yo, stop sleeping with these women. He said, yo, I just can't give them up. I can't give the cigarette up. I can't get the weed up. I can't get the alcohol up. I can't. Sister's got a rod problem, a rod hopping problem. I can't give it up. I can't get the rod up. I can't give the pants up. I can't give the cigarettes up because they don't have strength or they're not courageous. Read on.
which Moses, my servant, commanded thee.
Uh-huh.
Turn not from
He
it,
said, which Moses, my what?
which Moses, my servant, commanded thee.
Now, Joshua is leading the congregation, but he says, which Moses, my servant, commanded me. So he said he learned all these things from Moses. He fashioned himself after Moses, and what Moses told him, he's telling the people. So it's a domino effect. He learned from Moses. He fashioned his spirit like them. Then now you can teach the other people. Is there anything else on it? Get me 1 Samuel 1 verse 27 now. Now let's examine Samuel. 1 Samuel 1 verse 27.
1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 27. For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition which I ask of him. Therefore also I have lent him to the Lord. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord.
So this is Hannah. She dedicated her son Samuel to the Lord because why? She was barren, and because she was barren, she made a vow to the Lord. If the Lord blesses her with a child, she'll give him up or dedicate his life to serving him. Now get me verse that was 228. Reads 1 Samuel 2 verse 18.
1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
But Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child.
So Samuel ministered before the Lord. What?
Being a child.
Read on.
Girded with a linen ephod.
So he was a child. He was a child. He was around men of the Most High as a child. Now get me 1 Samuel 3 verse 1.
First Samuel chapter 3, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision.
So Samuel ministered before the Lord with Eli. So Samuel, what you're going to notice is before Samuel's birth, Eli was always around. Hannah was going up to Eli. Once Samuel was born, she dedicated him to the Most High, and Samuel was always with Eli. Always with Eli, observing him, watching him. Now get me verse 19.
Verse 19. And Samuel grew.
As Samuel being young, observing Eli, his mannerism, how he talked, how he walked, he grew. Read.
And the Lord was with him.
And the Lord was with him. Because why? He followed the same footsteps. Read.
And did let none of his words fall to the ground.
Now, if you read the rest of the history, Eli went off. The reason why he went off is because of his sons. It wasn't really Eli that was the wicked one. It was the fact that he didn't correct his sons. But Samuel, besides that, the Most High judged him for that. But besides that, Samuel followed all the footsteps of his elders. And with that, because of that, him being around Eli, he took on the characteristics of a Levite priest. The job, how they're supposed to talk, how they're supposed to walk, how are they supposed to please the Most High and great men. But what? Eli was always around those type of men. He was always in the midst of elders, taking on the characteristics, observing how he walks, how he talks. Get me Sirach 25 verse 3 now. So these are just examples. That's why I said things written aforetime was written for our learning. These are examples of you being able to take. Actually, give me one more example with Elijah and Elisha. To show you, when you're around somebody, you're taking on what we call characteristics, personalities. You're taking on their actual spirit. You're taking on a spirit. Get that. Give him double portion of the spirit. Is that it? Two and 9. 2 Kings 2 verse 9.
2 Kings chapter 2, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee
Mm-hmm.
before I be taken away from thee.
So another thing, Elisha was always with Elijah. Elisha was always with Elijah. Read on.
And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
He says, give me a double portion of your spirit, showing that Elisha wants to be just like Elijah. He's always with them, studying him. He says, give me a double portion of your spirit. I want your spirit and more of your spirit, 2 times full of your spirit. So that's why I said to find people that have the characteristics in which you would like to fashion yourself after. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Sisters, find people in which you would like to fashion yourself after. Read on.
Verse 10. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee,
Mm-hmm.
it shall be so unto thee. But read on. But if not, it shall not be so.
So, if you read the rest of the history, Elisha got a double portion of Elijah's spirit, and he took the place of Elijah. Elisha took the place of Elijah, because that's what's going to happen. A lot of times we're going to have to spread apart. We're going to have to spread out. You know, brothers and sisters are going to have to spread. Like we like I said, a lot of us from the like I said, the Philly congregation. You see the officers and soldiers. We came from New York congregation, and they told us, listen, we want you guys out here. Everything we're doing, the spirit we took on was the spirit of our leadership, and the way we act is not us. We took on their spirit, their characteristics. We're like, okay, how he act in this moment? Brothers might be like, damn, brother, why you so harsh to me? I said, damn, that's how the bishop to me. I don't know any way how to act. You know what I'm saying? This is how I was brought up by the bishop and the leadership. They were harsh to me. They was hard on me. So that's the only way I know how to be with brothers. Brothers say, yo, brother, why you be? I said, bro, I don't know how to. I'm sorry. You might get that with another brother, but I can't help it, bro. It is. You gotta endure till Christ come. I'm sorry. Endure to the end, brother. That's it. Or your sisters that came from the New York congregation, and they was put in roles that they had to be, they'll show sisters. Some sisters are young in the faith. Some sisters don't have too much time. But what they learn from their elder sisters, their characteristics, how they talk, how they conduct themselves, how they counsel the sister. Guess what? They had to take on those characteristics. They had to take on a portion of their spirit and teach the people and lead the people. Get me Sirach 25 verse 3 now.
Sirach chapter 25, verse 3. If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thy age?
So that goes forth in its truth. Not only when you're young, but in its truth. Read that again.
If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth.
If you have not gathered anything in your youth, or even when you're at your beginning stages in its truth, because we tell everybody, when you first come into this truth, you should be studying. You should be studying like crazy, dedicating all your time to studying the scriptures, because that's how you're going to grow. Read that again one more time. What scripture is that again?
Sirach chapter 25, verse 3. If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thy age?
How can you, if you gather nothing in your youth, if you didn't observe the leadership, the brothers that have been around you longer, if the sisters haven't observed, if you haven't studied the scriptures, it says, how canst thou find anything in thy age? you're gonna be unprofitable in your age. You're gonna be forgetting scriptures. You're not gonna be able to counsel. Now, when it's time for a position of leadership, you can't counsel nobody. You don't know any scriptures. You're not built up properly. That's why some brothers and sisters stay stagnant. They don't move because they didn't take it seriously when you first came to this truth. I remember when I first came to this truth, or with some brothers like Officer Zakai, Officer Liam, and them. Yeah, when I talk about all praises, I didn't really have a job like that. I was studying like 6 hours a day, close to 6 hours a day. I was going to the library and I had a schedule. Every day I went to the library every single day. And I made it my job to study for hours. I watched classes all day. I was on the phone with the leadership. I was Deacon, I thought I had to read the scripture. He said, bro, he's told me one time, you surpass, stand at the footsteps of the elders. He said, damn, brother. He said, yo, you worn out that scripture. I was calling him all the time. I said, Deacon, what's this understanding? What's that understanding? I used to go over his house all the time. All the time, I used to go to the bishop's house. Hey, Bishop, hey, how you doing? Can you free? Deacon Labco, he used to talk to Deacon Labco all the time. He used to be around them all the time. I didn't want to be around anybody else. I just want to be around them to learn them because I want to be like them. Read that again.
If thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thy age?
I used to examine Deacon Ace. I'm like, damn, yo, you look intimidating. Why you look so mean all the time? I'm like, damn, that's a good look. So, let me observe him. Deacon Labco Harsh. I'll say that's a good look. Bishop Nathaniel, he teaches with authority. He stands up when you see his presence alone. Shows forth, the spirit. There's a spirit behind his presence, or austerity behind them. I said, that's why I want to be. I want to be around them. I used to pray for the Most High for the, spirit like that. I used to be around them all the time studying. I'm like, damn. I said, where's that spirit? I used to find it. I'm like, well, damn. I'm like, yo, where is it? Why is it not happening? But you got to gather from your youth. But now it's like all that studying. Now, we have full-time jobs. We're married. We have responsibility. Now we're put in a position of responsibility. Now we can't study like we did when we first came to truth. So now all the things that we study up to this day, it's still there. It's still there. So we can, and all the councils that I've seen the leadership go through, now I'm seeing similar situations now. I said, okay, I remember this how the deacon dealt with this. This how this deacon dealt with this. Okay, this brother came. Okay, this how they dealt with it. This how they said this to them. This was their approach. I'm not counseling on my own mind. I'm taking their situation and I'm applying it. That's how you think I'm just making things up? No. I'm applying what I learned from my teachers. I gathered that up from my youth, meaning from my first, from my beginning stages in this walk. Brothers and sisters, or sisters, counsel other sisters. No, you're supposed to look upon, Mother Shamada, sisters, mothers Priya, Aparia, right? Paria, yeah, Amatha, all the leadership. I'll mess them up. Yeah, Sister Mahida, So you're supposed to look at their examples. Okay, what did they do in a situation? What was their counsel before, when they had to deal with the situation? That's why I tell you, brothers and sisters, you better study now. It's too early to be slacking in your studies. You're supposed to be sharp. You're supposed to know. People like this. What's that scripture? People like this. It's right here. You're supposed to be sharp. Read on.
Verse 4. Oh, how comely a thing is judgment for gray hairs, and for ancient men to know counsel.
You see how comely. When you get older, you're gonna know counsel. You gather up all that information from your youth. You're gonna know counsel. You're gonna be able to teach the person under you. Is that it? What's verse 5 saying? Yeah.
Oh, how comely is the wisdom of old men,
Uh-huh.
and understanding and counsel to men of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Much experience is the crown of old men.
So as you get aged in this truth, much experience because why? You observed from a youth. You try to fashion yourself after them. You was always around them. So now you have much experience. You have wisdom, and you're able to counsel. So these are the things, these are the fruits from your labor. These are the fruits from your labor. Read on. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Get me Sirach 6, verse 18.
Sirach, chapter 6, verse 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom to thy old age.
So it says, my son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so thou shalt find wisdom in thy old age. When you first come to this truth, you're supposed to be addicted to this truth. Because you want to, how are they supposed to understand that so well? How are they able to break down revelations? How are they able to break this down? How are they able to counsel that? Because why? We study, we study, we study, we study. And now when it comes to scriptures, we gather up so much information. You're like, oh, this is what that means. You can, what's the scripture mean? I might never read that scripture before, but I can look at it once, meditate on it. I say, oh, this is what that's going into. Because I will reflect on prior knowledge. It's called scaffolding, taking prior knowledge and adding it to that situation. So I'll take prior knowledge of scriptures and I will get the understanding. Because while I gather instruction, I learned so many precepts. Now, and I study so much. All the precepts and understanding has given me understanding of the scriptures. Now it makes you wiser. Is that it? Get me now. Now. It's going to take a little turn now. Because brothers and sisters, like I said, some brothers want to get married and they want positions of authority. They want to be they want to be someone in this truth. They want to have rank, meaning they want to put in works. They want to be a part of that number. Some sisters want to be considered as a sister to come to, as that elder sister, that sister of wisdom, of counsel. So these are the things you're supposed to do from your youth. Because a brother might say, ask me, what characteristics should I have to be married, to get married? What characteristics should I display to have a spouse? Or a sister, the same thing. What characteristics should I have to have a spouse? What characteristics should I have to be considered an elder woman or to be considered to counsel? Because we'll observe the sisters. This sister's diligent. The way she walks, the way she talks, her characteristics, that she's well learned and studied in the scriptures. We're gonna use her for counsel. The other sisters, go to this sister. Not gonna say go to this sister. Go to that sister. She been through similar situation. That sister been through trials. Now she knows how to conduct herself. Now she changed. Go to that sister. Now she's in a position to help other sisters and guide them. Okay, now we can see brothers see their characteristics because brothers took the step. They've been around brothers. They've developed the characteristics. They apply these scriptures. Put this brother as a soldier. Okay, now he could be over brother. He could guide brothers in the scriptures. Put this brother as an officer. He's able to hear problems, small counsels, but not heavy counsels. Officer 20, Officer 50. This brother been through marital issues. Put him to counsel this. So, the turn is, what spirit should I have in order to get married or have a position of authority or to be looked at as a person to come to? So, if a brother wants to get married, what should he have first? Or what should he have saved up for to get? Question. Okay. Yeah. A house. Or look into or have the funds saved up to get a house. Because you have a lot of people that want to get married in its truth. They don't have a place. They come up to us, officer, can you find a sister for me? Okay, do you have a place to live? No. Okay, do you have money saved up? About 6 months, to cover your costs. Rent just in case you don't have a job or anything. No. Do you have a job? No. Brother, sit down. You're not ready for a wife. So that's the first thing. You should have a place or enough money saved up to get a place. You should have enough income to bring in so that you're able to pay for rent or mortgage, utilities, food, clothing. So these things you should be doing this. You should set aside all of your expenses, meaning you should act and conduct yourself as if you're married before you're married. There's certain characteristics and spirits you should have before you go into a relationship. A lot of you try to rush because you're horny, you're burning. You see somebody you like, you think somebody's gonna pick them up. If you don't pick them up, you like, you know what? If I don't talk to them, somebody else is gonna talk to them. Listen, if Most High intended that person to be with you, they will be with you. But if you have nothing in order, what are you gonna do? Read that. Matthew 19, verse 5.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 5. And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother.
And what's the cause? Marriage is the cause. For this cause, for marriage, a man shall leave father and mother. For this cause, a man shall leave father and mother. Read.
And shall cleave to his wife.
And shall cleave to his wife. So, in order to take on a sister, you're supposed to leave father and mother and cleave to your wife, meaning that you have what? Brothers, in order to leave father and mother, what are you supposed to have?
You have to have your own house.
You have to have your own place, right? Your own house or your own apartment. So, brothers, if you cannot provide for that, don't ask us for a wife. If you don't have the funds saved up or you don't have a job or anything of that nature, get me, read on.
Where and they twain shall be one flesh.
And they twain shall be one flesh. Because why? Because why? You have sex. Once you leave father and mother, you have sex with your wife to bring forth children. You twain are one flesh. Read.
Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Wherefore you're no more twain, but one flesh. Because you cannot have, now give me Sirach chapter 42, verse 9. Brothers will meet a sister, and two of them will be in the father's house and mother's house. Now, if you're planning, like say you have money saved up, a good job, and you're planning, or you have yourself together on getting your own place, then that's different. You could talk about, okay, I'm planning to move out this time period. I'm planning to move. She said, okay, we're planning to move. I got this much money saved up. You know, I have a job. I have good income. I could leave. But you can't be talking to a sister. You have none of these things. You don't have a place or have money saved up for a place. And you both are talking. He lives at mommy's house and daddy's house, and she lives at daddy's house. And you guys are talking. In the middle of you guys talking, you get enticed. Your conversations go off. It starts becoming lustful. And all of a sudden, you have sex. You have sex. You hook up with the person. Now, guess what? Give Sirach chapter 42, verse 9.
Sirach chapter 42, verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter, when no man knoweth. And the care for her taketh away sleep, when she is young.
So the father careth for the daughter when she is young, and it takes away his sleep. Read on.
Lest she pass away the flower of her age.
Lest she give away her virginity. Read.
And being married, lest she should be hated.
Read verse 10 now.
And her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. And having a husband, lest she should misbehave herself.
So it says, in her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. It is a shame thing to be gotten with child in your father's house. That's why the scripture says, shall a man leave father and mother, and the two of them shall be one flesh. Because it's a shame. And we have instances like that. A brother will have sex with a sister in the father's house. We heard of another camp of an elder doing that. being an elder, flying to another state, having sex with the women, with the sister. Now the sister got pregnant, and she's still in her father's house. Still in her father's house. 2, 3 kids. And another sister, she'll say that she'll hear them banging right next to her. In the father's house. Hear them banging. It's a shame. Is there anything else?
Lest she should be barren.
Mm-hmm.
Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter.
The Bible calls that a shameless daughter. A daughter that's gotten with child in her father's house. Being pregnant. And that's many of our sisters. You see our young sisters pregnant from youth. Even is truth, yes.
And it, in the beginning of that verse, Sirach 42 and 9, it says, "The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age." It's going into the responsibility of the father, him taking care of her, and then if she does do that and end up pregnant, now that's more responsibility on him.
But say the last part again.
I said that's more responsibility on the father.
Exactly. Because he's showing you the characteristics of a father. And what's the responsibility? That's the characteristic of a man. Worrying about his daughter, worrying about her passing away, the flower of her age. Worrying whether she's out and about having sex and getting pregnant inside of his house. Because like I said, the father's going to be responsible of taking care of that daughter. With that child now, where it's supposed to be the husband's responsibility. So if you cannot provide for a sister and bring her into your house, then you should not be talking to a sister. Because these are the responsibilities and the characteristics of a man. You're supposed to have a house and take her. Jacob took Rachel. That's a man to be able to take her. Because the father's considered man because he's responsible. He's feeding her, he's clothing her, he's housing her. If you cannot house her, a lot of black men having sex with our women. He's not feeding her. He's not housing her. He's not clothing her. He's a little boy. He's just having sex with her. What responsibilities you taking on? Nothing. Your father is the head of the house still. You're not head of anything. You're just having sex with her. So we're trying to show you the characteristics of a man, how to properly prepare yourself for marriage, or how you should be in its truth. Get me now. Sirach 29, verse 21.
Sirach chapter 29, verse 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread.
The chief things in life is water. You got to be able to have what? To be able to supply water.
The house.
A house, right?
And a job.
And a job. A house and a job. Because what? To take a shower. You can't pay for the water bill. You don't have a funky wife walking around. You're going to be funky. No drink, nothing. So the chief things of life is what?
The chief thing for life is water and bread.
And bread, food, right? Read.
And clothing. And in house to cover shame.
And clothing. Because what? In a house to cover shame. And so it says water, bread, clothing, and a house to cover shame. Because why? It's a shameful thing for a woman to have a child in her father's house. So you're covering your shame. You're covering the shame of that daughter now. You get her pregnant, it's not shame anymore. Not because she's under your house. You can provide for her. You can take care of her. Give me Exodus 21, verse 18. So it says the chief things of life. Real quick, to show that's the responsibility of a man. We're going to go right back to that.
Exodus chapter 21. Let me start at verse 10.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage,
her food, her clothing, and his what?
And her duty of marriage.
And the duty of marriage, the things that she needs, the things that he's supposed to be doing in the marriage, read.
Shall he not diminish.
Shall he not diminish. The man's responsibility and the characteristics of a man is to provide her food, make sure there's food in the house. Clothing, make sure that she's properly clothed. And her what?
And her duty of marriage.
Her duties of marriage. Make sure she has her personal her personal products for hygiene to take care of herself. If she needs to go to school, they're able to provide her with schooling. If she need anything that she needs, you're supposed to assist her in. That's the characteristic of a man. Because why? The father used to do these things. Everything the father used to do for the daughter, you're supposed to take on and do the same thing for your wife. Everything the father used to do, you're supposed to do the same thing. Now get me 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 10. Then we're going to go back to that. 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 10.
Second Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10.
Come on.
For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither shall he eat.
So we command, if any would not work, meaning get a job. Some brothers are prideful to even get a job. Some brothers, like I said last week, we saw, like I said, when we was teaching on the streets, the brother sold drugs. I said, brother, that's not a job. That's not a proper job. Are you getting taxed for that? No, that's not on record. Because if you're not getting taxed, or you're not able to file for tax, how are you able to buy a house if you want to buy a house? You got to show forth income. And drug money is not show forth income. Think about it. A lot of times you want to get an apartment, you got to show pay stubs. You got to show pay stubs from a job. If you want to buy a house, you got to show a salary, income. You got to have credit history. So the Bible's teaching you responsibility. So if you don't have a job, that means you don't have a pay stubs. You don't have tax. You don't have a tax return. So you can't show an apartment what they need. You have no credit. They say, no, they're going to reject you. So if you're a drug dealer, what are you going to do? You're going to live, either have the woman get a house for you, have your man put the house in his name, or you're going to live at home with mommy. Those are one of three things. But the house is not going to be in your name. The scripture says to always keep the preeminence. How can a man be called a man if you don't have anything to show forth it? A man works hard for his things. And he has pride to say, that's mine. That house is in my name. That car's in my name. That I bought her that clothing. I provide food. I pay the water. That's the pride of a man. Yo, think about it. It's beautiful. When your wife comes to you like this, my Lord, may I have money for food? You be like this. Here you go. You be like this. You be like this. Here you go, man. You be like this. Yeah. Yeah. You feel good. You put the house in your name. You say, you know what? The insurance in my name. That's in my name. That feels good because what? You take on the responsibility of a father or of a man. These are the characteristics that you should try to meet. Read that again.
For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither shall he eat.
If any will not work, neither shall he eat. So the scripture says, her food, her raiment, and the duties of marriage shall you not diminish. So it says, if he should not work, neither shall he what?
Neither shall he eat.
So what is that saying? If you do not work, neither shall you what? Well, we understand the eat part. What's the other part that I'm looking for? Let's see if anybody can catch on. If a man doesn't work, neither shall he. If you can't eat, We read the other scriptures, just a prior scripture. Neither can you have. I gave it to you. Be helping brothers. What?
A wife.
Yeah, neither she's saying that.
Shouldn't have a wife.
If a man don't work, neither should he have a what?
A wife.
A wife. So neither should you talk to a sister. If you don't work, don't talk to a sister, brother. Stare at the four corners until you get yourself together. Now go back to Sirach, chapter 29, verse 21. And you have a lot of young brothers coming up, 16, 17, 18. They be like, yeah, man, young burner, I need to talk to a sister. Brother, you don't got nothing. You want to talk to a sister? Brother, you better endure. Yeah. Bro, you know how to wash his underarms.
Get an ice pack.
Yeah. I mean, in my school, man, I be smelling the kids. I'm like, damn, that's foul. Feet stinking, underarms stinking, everything. You be smelling all the elements, all the different smells and elements mixed together. I had to buy. It was so bad. I had to buy a spray. After every class, I had to spray. I'm like, damn, man, that's bad. I put on one day I had to put on a Sesame Street song at the beginning of class. It says, you gotta wash your arm. You gotta take the soap. And it said, I put on another song, so you gotta brush your teeth. I put on that song, so I said, something gotta give. I said, maybe if I put this on, it'll reach their subconscious. You know, it was cool, because the kids like, this is my song. They started doing this. I said, yeah. I said, get it. I said, get the underarms, too.
Sirach chapter 29, verse 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and an house to cover shame.
And these are all the things you need in order to provide for a wife. You need, and it said that in Exodus 21, verse 18. It says the chief things for life is water. You have to pay water to drink, as well as your water bill. So you can have a shower. You could cook food. That's utilities bill. Bread, food. You have to be able to budget for food. Without a job, how can you budget for food? That's why I said brothers have to take it up to the next level. You can't just think, I just want a woman. No. A man thinks ahead. 3 or 4 steps ahead. Before you get married, you should be able to already budget in utilities and rent. Utilities and rent. And that money that you budget in, when you get paid, guess what? Put that money away. Act as if. Don't spend the money. Act as if that's going towards something. Save that money up. Save that money up for like 6 months or so. And then I have enough money to survive for 6 months. You was able to hold you on your own for about 6 months. That was the advice the leadership gave me. The bishop gave me, they said, listen, you looking for a wife? They said, make sure you budget in your expenses on a weekly and a monthly basis. What will cost for apartment? Or even Captain Uzziah told me this. What it will cost for monthly rent? What it will cost for utilities, food, gas, and car insurance, rentals insurance. So these things you got to keep in perspective before you actually make that next step. Because a lot of you don't understand, once the sex is over, responsibilities come into place. And then you're going to be stressed. I didn't know it's going to be like that. And the wife start looking at you like, I thought you took me to be a wife. I thought you were a man of God. I thought you were a man. And you women and you brothers wonder why your wife disrespect you or she doesn't submit herself unto you. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, it's because she don't see yourself. She doesn't see you fitting those characteristics. We say a lot of times, sis, you got to submit to the man. But sometimes we're like, damn, brother, what man? Think about it. We say submit to your head, the head of your household. Meanwhile, he's the head of the household. He don't got a damn house. He's the head of the household. He doesn't live in a house. Does that make sense? He's the head of the household, but the house is in her name. That's why we tell brothers, try to get the house in your name. Listen, if my wife had credit score, good credit score, and if I have bad credit score, I said, listen, we're gonna live in this apartment for a little longer, until I get my credit score up. But my name's gonna be in that title. You ain't gonna get them because she argue with you. Get the hell out. You be like, oh damn. You say, yeah, the house in my name. You be like, oh shoot. You don't got no. You don't got. We seen that happen, brothers. That has happened. Yes.
I was reading some history about our people, how some of our sisters would be let free, and she would have to buy her husband from her slave master. So he was technically, her slave. One of the sisters got in an argument with her husband, and since she technically owned him, she got mad at him and sold him.
Damn.
To an Edomite.
Damn.
And then when she got over it, she tried to buy him back, and the Edomite didn't want to sell him back.
You see?
Wow.
You see, brothers? Some sisters act out of emotions. And that's why it says have the preeminence in everything. Had the preeminence. That's what we're trying to teach you. The characteristics of a man and what it entails. Because we had a situation here, too. Sister disrespecting her husband. Always disrespect him. Like, I'm trying. The sister even said one time, I'm trying to, what she said? I want you to be the man that the Most High, I want you to be the man that the Most High chose, called you to be. Damn. Sister saying that, I want you to be the man the Most High called you to be. I want you to be a man. That means she don't look at you as a man. She's trying to make him a man. She said, how do I correct him? She's trying to make him a man. Because why? Brother don't have a job. Brother doesn't provide her food, her raiment, her clothing. He don't provide anything.
Play video games all
Play video games all damn day. But I'm the head of the household. Man, we ain't the head of nothing. I'm the head of the house. Oh, submit. You got to submit to me. How's she going to submit to you? You're not fitting any of the characteristics of a man. You're not fitting any of the characteristics. What did I say? What did I say?
You're married.
Huh?
If you're married.
Okay, but there's what do they call? There's a joint. There's a person that's a primary, and there's a joint. The primary has full access, and they make all the calling. So it stands what I said. All right? What am I talking about now?
About the lazy man that
Yeah.
wife.
So, brothers, you want your wife to submit to you, but you're not giving her anything to submit to. Yeah. I read on. Huh? No, not that. Yeah, read on. That's it. Nobody hears you.
Verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
So the scriptures also said, some of you got to swallow your pride. Some of you are looking for that glamorous house, the most beautifully decked, renovated, nice cut lawn, nice beautiful neighbors, nice neighborhood, and you can't afford it. Some of you, if you burn it that much, you want to be her that much. Sometimes you got to do what?
Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage.
Listen, sometimes you got to move to the hood. You got roaches, you got mice, you got the loud music. You got all the things that's undesirable. I know one couple been counseling. I told them, listen, you got to get yourself together. They stopped sleeping with each other because they understood that, they didn't have the paperwork. They understood they lived in their mother's house. So they understood these scriptures. They lived in their mother's house. They didn't have paperwork. So they weren't properly married. So what they did, they stopped having sex, even though they both lived in their mother's house. They waited. Now, they both got themselves a place. They both got themselves a marriage certificate. And the sister told me, she said, yo, it's a mean cottage. He said, it's in a bad neighborhood. It's a horrible neighborhood. We got infestation. But guess what? I bet you they're happier. You don't have to worry about the mother's mouth, the father's mouth. You don't have to worry about them. It's, a house cover shame. Now you can be with your wife. You can make as much noise as you want to. You can walk around the house naked if you want to, if that's your thing. You can do whatever you want. It's your privacy. That's what says a house to cover shame. Whatever you want to do in your house, that's your privacy. You get her pregnant, guess what? She's in your house. You can save up money. Now, check this out. Get Tobit 2 verse 10 now. Now, if you want to upgrade, let's say, for example, now we are in hard times. Brothers might have felonies, or brothers might not have gotten a degree. So he might not have that blue-collar job. He might not have that high salary. And it's prohibiting him from paying, meaning those monthly, the monthly mortgage or rent, or be able to afford food, raiment, and clothing. Because why? We're living in a different time period. So if you guys love each other that much, you want to be together, and you're looking to move in together, or if you're looking to get out of a mean cottage, this is another thing a sister can do. Read.
Tobit, chapter 2, verse 10.
Because some sisters complain, and they don't even contribute. We're living in a different time a lot of times. We're living in a different time. So if you really love that person, if you want more, you want a better house, a better quality living, or if the husband can't afford everything, he just can't have everything, provide for everything like that, you could do this too.
Tobit, chapter 2, verse 10. And I knew not that there were sparrows in the wall, and my eyes being open. The sparrows muted warm dung into my eyes.
So the sparrow, the bird, took a crap in Tobit's eye. Read.
And a whiteness came in my eyes.
Because what happens, he started to become blind. Read on.
And I went to the physicians, but they helped me not. Moreover, Archarias did nourish me until I went into Elamias. And my wife Anna did take woman's work to do.
It says, and my wife Anna did take woman's work to do. Even to show you the scriptures. That Anna, because Tobit was not able to provide, the wife being a godly woman. This is the characteristics. Anna was a virtuous woman. She thought until she said, I need to help out. That means she had to take woman's work. She had to have a skill set. She had to have a skill set. Sis, don't just wait. Like I said, a lot of times sisters just say, okay, he has to take care of me and do nothing. And sometimes a brother might not be able to get that high paying salary. The brother might not be able to, he might have a felony or whatever the case may be. He might not be able to take care of all the bills. So what happened? If you want better, sister complain. Oh, I don't have this. I don't have that. I want this. I want better clothing. Why don't we go out? Why don't we go on dates more? Why don't we go on vacations? Okay, sister. If you want all those things, you know it's a different time period. We're being oppressed. If you want all those things, do what?
And my wife Anna did take women's work to do.
The wife Anna took woman's work to do. She got a job. So if you really love that person, guess what? If you want to really be together, you're going to get a job. Because this situation where a brother doesn't have a job and he has a felony and his sister doesn't have a job. Nobody has a job. So how does that help anybody? So if you know that he can't get it, you know that he's struggling. If you really love him, if you want to see it work, you're going to get a job. So that's the flip side. If the brother can't take care of all the bills or everything like that, it's a new age. So women's work. Both of you provide them, but the sisters still have to keep in mind that, okay, he's actually, at least he can't do all these things like he wants to, but he's trying. He's not a lazy brother. He's going out to work. He's busting his behind out. You know what? He's my head. Even though he can't fully provide for me, he's still my head because he's doing the best that he can in his captivity and given his present situation. So he took the steps. But because of his situation, he can't fully, provide everything. So you know what? He's my head. That's my Lord. He's the head over me. I'm going to submit unto him. That's something to submit to if a brother's trying. Read on.
Verse 12. And when she had sent them home to the owners, they paid her wages.
So they paid her, read.
And gave her also besides a kid.
And they gave her a baby goat. Read.
And when
is
it was
a goat or is it a kid? Yeah,
yes,
baby goat, yeah.
Baby goat.
And, read on.
And when it was in my house and began to...
Even though Anna was what? She was working, he couldn't. He said, and when it was a what?
And when it was in my house.
He said, in my house. Because Tobit initially was the work. He was the provider. He said, in my house. So he already had that. He already had that set up already. But he was in unfortunate times, circumstances. So even though she took work, he said, this is still my house. I'm just in unfortunate circumstances. I fit the criteria. Read on.
And began to cry. I said unto her, from whence is this kid? It is not stolen. Render it. Is it not stolen? Render it to the owners.
He said, yo, where's this kid? Yo, you stole this. Give it back to the owner. Read.
For it is not lawful to eat anything that is stolen.
He thought he stole from him. Read.
But she replied upon me, it was given for a gift more than the wages. Howbeit, I did not believe her, but bade her render it to the owners. And I was abashed at her. But she replied upon me.
So Tobit and Anna arguing back and forth. Yo, that's stolen. Yo, give that back. You got money, but you got more than that. Read.
Where are thy alms and thy righteous deeds? Behold, thou and all thy works are known.
What did you notice about that? That she noticed about him. Oh, here we go. I made a statement earlier.
She noticed that he worked and he had a job and he took care of her.
Yeah. She said, where's thy alms and thy works and all thy deeds? So she knew his characteristics. Even though he was in unfortunate circumstances, like I said, sister, if you know that brother's works, he's trying, and he's in unfortunate circumstances, that goes, like I said, it shows that the brother is trying. So she honored him. She said, yo, look at your works. But some sisters look at brothers and be like, yo, he got no works. I'm not respecting him. He's not doing anything for this truth. He's not providing anything. I ain't going to submit to him. But with his characteristics, she said, yo, this is a man. He took the responsibility. He took me under his wing. He provided for me. He had a job. He had me in his house. But she was able to acknowledge his alms, his righteous deeds, and his works. And she said they are known. That's the characteristics of a man. A man is known through his works, his alms, his righteous deeds. And then she will recognize and know you for them. Get me Sirach 36 verse 25. Spiritual characteristics. For men and women, spiritual characteristics. What we should have in this truth.
So
Coming into this truth, these are the spirits that we are supposed to possess. Whether you come into the truth, whether, like I said, whether you're not married, whether you look to be raised up in this truth, whether you're looking to be married, or sisters, whether you're looking to be acknowledged in this truth, or whether you're looking to be married as well. These are the characteristics spiritually that you should have, as well as your works. Yes, 25.
Sirach chapter 36, verse 25. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest.
So he that getteth a wife getteth. Read it
Right,
again.
what happened? Verse 25. I read 24. Where no hedge is.
No, that's all I want. Oh, I wanted 24. Sorry. Yeah, 24. That was right.
Okay,
Read it again.
I'm sorry. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself.
So he that getteth a wife getteth a possession, a help like himself. Give me 1 Timothy 3 verse 5. What does it mean that he getteth a possession?
First Timothy chapter 3 verse 5.
Nope.
Meaning you have to take care of it as
Yeah.
it's yours.
Like as if
It belongs to- yeah.
very good. So you have to take care of it as if it's yours, because it is yours. The Most High gave her to you. So it's a possession. So if you get a car, what do you do with a car?
Make sure all the maintenance is up to date and everything. Make sure it's
Gas,
clean,
oil change, cleaning, right?
everything. Yeah.
If there's anything you find, tune-ups,
Get it done.
right?
Yeah. Take care of it.
You got to take care of it, right? So he that getteth a wife getteth a possession. 1 Timothy 3 verse 5.
1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
Now, does a possession rule you, or you rule the possession?
You rule the possession.
Yeah, you're over the possession, right?
Right.
So read that again.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
So it says, if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care the church of God? So it's relating the church of God, taking care of the church of God is synonymous to ruling your house. It's one and the same. So in order to get, so the way you to rule your house is the same way you rule the church of God. So before you get in a house, like say you get rank or anything like that, that's goes into ruling the church of God. You get in a position of a soldier or officer or a captain or bishop or deacon. There's certain characteristics you have to have in ruling that church. Because in order to be given a position of rulership, you got to meet certain criteria, right? Now, just like vice versa. In order to have a wife or wife to have a husband, guess what? You have to have certain criteria. It's one and the same. So for brothers looking for a wife, you have to have the criteria and what it takes to what? Rule the church of God or be a part or in charge of the church of God. Read verse 1.
Verse 1. This is a true saying.
Uh-huh.
If a man desire the office of a bishop.
So if you desire the office of a bishop or overseer, and guess what? In your household, what are you? In your household, what are you? What is the job of a bishop to do?
Or to rule his house.
What is the job of a bishop?
Oh, to rule the church.
Lamadiah. What is the job of a bishop? What's your name? Bro, I'm never going to get your name. Lamaya, what is it again?
The rule of the church.
No, what's your name again?
Lamadia.
Lamadia?
Yes.
All right, one day, brother. So what is to rule the church? How so? How do you now? Because brother, now this is gonna help you go deep into what does it mean to rule a church or how to rule your house. Because brother think that ruling your house is screaming at the woman, calling her bees, calling her a hoe, saying you're no good, sit down, shut up. You think that they think that's how you rule your house. If you want to know how to rule the house, look how the leadership deals with the congregation. Look how Christ deals with the congregation. That'll show you how to rule your house. Now, how does a bishop rule his house? Or how did Christ rule the church? How did he lead the church?
To justly take care of children and wife, everybody under them. Make sure that they are raising the laws and keeping the laws.
Okay. Uriel?
To teach.
Okay, teach. Make sure the women and children are raised in the laws, right? To teach. What else? Anybody else? Oh, dang. The time passed quick.
You gotta guide them. You gotta be patient with them.
Okay, you got to guide them. You got to be patient with them. Anything else? Officer Ephraim?
You gotta lead by example.
You got to lead by example. What did Christ do for the church? Name all the things Christ did for the church.
Put his life on the line for it.
He put his line. Okay, what else? If you repeat the same things, we have God put his life on the line.
He guided them.
Guided them.
Protected them.
He protected them.
He,
What else he do?
Gave counsel.
He gave them counsel. What else he do?
That's all I got.
That's it. No, come on, man.
Christ had a job.
Okay, Christ had a job. What else?
So he fed the church.
He fed the church.
If a man can't work, he can't eat.
Okay.
He did all those things.
Christ fed the church, right? What else? What else? He paid taxes for Peter.
Right. He did everything that a husband's supposed to do for a wife. Christ did.
Yeah.
Remember, Christ is the husband to the church. We are the church. So therefore, we got to live our life like Christ to the church. We got to be like Christ to the women.
You know, he took care of the church in every aspect, in every way. So if you want to know how to rule your house, and guess what? If the church went off, what did he do? He corrected them. He called Peter, "Get thee hence, Satan." So he corrected them. He also counseled. He nourished them. He was compassionate. That's what it means to rule your house. Brothers don't know how to rule their house. If you want to know how to rule the house, look how Christ, or look how the leadership deals with the congregation. He clothed the church. The church was clothed, like the leadership. We clothe the church. You have to clothe the wife. It's the same thing. We feed the church. We provide water for the church. It's the same thing. We take care of them. We make sure they counsel. So if you want to know how to rule the household, look at the characteristics of what it takes to be a bishop, a leader, or how Christ conduct himself with the church. That's why I said this is a mystery, but I'm concerning Christ and the church. That's what it means to rule your house. To follow every example the way Christ dealt with the church, or how the bishop and the deacons deal with the church. That's how you rule your household. Read on.
He desire a good work. A bishop then must be blameless.
You got to be blameless. You have to have good works. You like that brother's not always caught up in something. He's always not caught up in something wicked. He's blameless. His name is not always in somebody's mouth. Or sister's name is not always somebody's mouth. Oh, that sister lies a lot. That sister deceitful. That sister gossips. That sister just here for a man. That sister has no works. You have to be blameless. Read.
The husband of one wife.
Vigilant. Husband of one wife. Also, but if you're not married, then you don't have a wife. You also have to be what?
Vigilant.
Vigilant. What does vigilant mean? Who has the definition? What does vigilant to mean? A bishop must be vigilant.
They mean it to be watchful.
To be watchful, to be alert, to be aware. Guess what? When it comes to a marriage, guess what? You have to be vigilant. You have to be, and before you get married, you have to develop these characteristics before you get married, before you be put up in leadership. So it goes hand in hand. These are the characteristics that you need to possess in its truth. To be watchful, to be alert, to know your surroundings. Because in a household, you got to watch out. Okay, is everything taken care of? Is my family safe? Are they taken care of? Is my doors locked? Is this, the windows closed? If anybody creeping around, anybody calling my wife, these are the things you're looking for. Just like the church, you're looking for people bringing in false doctrines. You're looking for people that's looking to harm your people. You're vigilant. You're looking for every detail. Find out about that person right there. That's why you have soldiers over you to find out. You're always in your wife's life, or the father's always in the child's life. These are characteristics you have to develop to be aware of your surroundings. Read on.
Sober.
You can't be a drunk as a leader. Neither can you be a drunk and your relationship or leading up to marriage. Because why? If you're drunk before you get married, more than likely you're going to carry that to your marriage. What is that going to cause? What's going to be the effect of that? You could be abusive. You could slip. You slip of the tongue, and you could be abusive with that. You could what do you say? Waste all your money because you're drunk, or you like to get high. You spending your wife's money on weed or drugs. You're spending your money on liquor, or your check on liquor. That's why I said these are the characteristics you need to have. If you bring that habit into a marriage, you're in trouble. Your marriage is going to be into trouble. You might have financial. There's people that have finance situations because somebody has a drug problem. They'll steal their spouse's money because they have a drug problem. They'll steal the spouse money because they have an alcoholic problem. That's why it says to be sober. If you want to be a leader, you got to be sober, because why? As a leader, you might steal to get drugs or get alcohol. You might steal the church funds, or the same thing as in a relationship. So that's why these are the characteristics you need to have in the truth, or even before you get into a marriage. You need to be sober. Read.
Of good behavior.
Good behavior. You have to be of good behavior. meaning not disrespectful, adherent to the commandments, know how to talk, know how to walk, know how to conduct yourself, know how to deal properly with the congregation. Read on.
Given to hospitality.
Given to hospitality, meaning charitable, meaning of good works. A brother or sister need help. Yeah, I'm here to help. Volunteering your services, helping out the congregation. Given to good hospitality. Read.
Apt to teach.
Apt to teach. Brothers, you need to know how to teach. You need to know the scriptures if you want a leadership role or if you want a wife. Because guess what? The wife is supposed to go to you. The wife is supposed to go to you for anything any questions. You shouldn't be learned enough to be able to tell her, oh, this is what this scripture means, this is what that scripture means. Because how does it look if your wife is come to the officers all the time? It doesn't look right. At the beginning stage, that the wife, like I said, the wife might have more knowledge. She might have brought you in the truth. She might have gone into the truth before you. But your job should be, so you know what? I want to get more learned so that she can come to me rather than an officer. You should be like, damn, she's going to the officer for understanding. You know what? Let me get myself together. I don't like that. I want my wife to come to me. I want to feel good. It feels good. She's coming to you for everything. It makes you feel more like a man. Read on.
Verse 3. Not given to wine.
Not a drunkard. Read.
No striker.
Not a striker. You know you have an abusive spirit. You're a brawler. But you want to get married. You know you saw your parents fight your whole life. You still have that. You want to fight everybody that looks at you wrong. But you want to get married. No, you might injure the sister. You might choke the sister out or cause harm to her. Now you got to be thrown out the congregation because you didn't take your time to get over that anger spirit. You didn't take the time to learn how to discipline your spirit. You don't know how to deal with a sister. You don't know how to deal with a brother. You want to fight at everything they say to you. Now, you get married. She says something wrong to you. Instead of knowing how to deal with it, you're able to control your spirit. Now, she says something wrong to you, and the first thing you do, you choke her out or knock her out. There's been brothers like that because they rushed into the relationship. Read.
Not greedy of filthy lucre.
Not greedy of filthy lucre. If you have a gambling problem, you're not ready for marriage. Because some brothers lost their house because of that they have a gambling problem. Some people they're greedy of filthy lucres and they become hustlers and they start getting involved in legal activity. They get locked up. Now, the wife is, stuck, or the sister's involved in legal activity. She's greedy of filthy lucre. She's a thief. Vice versa. You cannot have these characteristics come into a marriage, or you want to be a leader or an example in the congregation. Read on.
Not a brawler.
Not a brawler. You have some brothers and sisters that are brawlers. We have some relationship and congregation that we had to separate them. We had to separate them, split them apart because the man and the woman were both brawlers. They were both brawlers, and then you can't be in the household together. Because we had to throw one brother out the congregation because he was a brawler. He wanted to choke his wife out. So what? We had to throw him out. He didn't take the time to get his spirit right and make sure that he's ready. Now she said something wrong. He chokes her out. Or the husband said something, or the one she's dealing with says something wrong to her. So she hits him. She punched him in the face. She starts kicking him. You were not ready in the first place. If you have these spirits, you're not ready for marriage. Read.
Not covetous.
Not covetous. Desires a thing. Or if you know you have the covetous spirit, you get married. You know you both broke, but you want more than what you can afford. So you start breaking the commandments. If you have a covetous spirit, you got to know, okay, you got to work on that before you get married. Read.
Verse 4. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity.
Okay. Get me Titus 1 verse 7. Almost done. Titus 1 verse 7.
Titus chapter 1 verse 7. For a bishop must be blameless.
A bishop must be blameless. Read.
As the steward of God.
Mm-hmm.
Not self-willed.
Not self-willed. It's all about me. It's all about me. You do things that's going to benefit you. If you have a self-will spirit, guess what? You're not ready for marriage. I mean, it's all about you. Sorry, read that again. Let me get it real quick. All right, read that again.
For a bishop must be blameless as the steward of God, not self-willed.
It's all about you. You. You don't think about anybody else but yourself. You don't give alms. You don't help anybody else if it doesn't benefit you. You're self-willed. If you get in a marriage, guess what? You're not going to think about the wife or her or how she feels, or the sister, vice versa. You're not going to think about the husband, how he feels about him. It's all about you. No. It says to think of others highly above yourself. You got to think of others above yourself. I think that's how I just paraphrase and jack the whole scripture up. Or prefer one another. Yeah, prefer one another above yourself, right? Something like that. Yeah, prefer one another. So you can't be self-willed. Because when it comes to a marriage, it's not about you anymore. It's about this people that you get involved with. You got to make sure they're taken care of. It's not about you and what benefits you all the time. It has to be what benefits everybody. Like a bishop. It can't be about what benefits him. It has to be about what benefits everybody. Read.
Not soon angry.
You cannot be soon angry. You don't know. You have no control over your spirit. They say anything to you. You want to snap. Yo, what you saying to me? Because that brings forth the brawler spirit. You don't know how to control. You have no temperance. Somebody says something to you wrong, you stink. You start beating them up. You don't know how to do this. You don't do this. You don't do that. It could be anything, any situation. You get angry for every little reason. Anything ticks you off. You can't be soon angry and want to be married. Read.
Not given to wine.
Mm-hmm.
No striker.
Saying the same thing. Read on.
Not given to filthy lucre.
Mm-hmm.
But a lover of hospitality.
You have to be a lover of hospitality, good works, charity, helping out. Like we have a fundraiser going on all over IUIC. Listen, if you're not partaking, that's hospitality. That's charitable. Being involved in the works. And sister, let me show you something. Tell you something. A brother, when you come to the truth, a brother when he's looking for a sister, he's not looking for looks anymore like that. Looks are nice, but he's not looking for that. We're looking for your works. I'm telling you a secret. When we pick, we're looking at, okay, what works does she have in Israel? That's the first thing a brother asks a lot of time. What are her works? Is she involved? Is she helping assist him? Because what she's doing with the congregation a lot of time is going to tell you how she's going to be in the marriage. A sister looking at a brother. Okay, what's his position? Is he studying the scriptures? Does he know the scripture? Is he actively involved in the congregation? Is he actively fundraising? Is he passing out flyers? Is he actively on the class? Is he actively assisting? Whether it be the deep clean, whether it be anything the brothers ask him, is he actively involved in that? You have to be a lover of hospitality because that's going to show how you're going to be in your household. Are you going to be actively involved in your household? These things transfer over. Read on.
A lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate.
Having self-control. Read.
Holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers.
Titus 2 verse 1 now.
Titus chapter 2 verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, that the aged men be sober, grave.
So the aged man is also going to what? What we just read.
Bishops.
The bishop. The aged man is going to the bishop because why? They have experience. They have all these characteristics that they gather up. That's why they call aged men or the bishop. These are the characteristics they gather up from youth. Read.
Sound in faith.
Sound in faith.
In charity. In patience.
Now give me verse 6.
Verse 6. Young men, likewise, exhort to be sober-minded.
Young men, likewise to what? And who? Young men, likewise Likewise to what?
Likewise to the bishop or the elders.
Yes, showing that the young man, when you're young in his truth, the characteristics that you see in the bishop or the elders or the sisters, the characteristics you see in the other sisters, likewise, you're supposed to do what?
Likewise, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded.
You have to likewise, just like the characteristics that a bishop or an elder or older man has, you have to have the same characteristic. You have to develop the same personality. You have to take on their spirit. Read.
In all things.
Because these are all spirits. You have to take on their spirit. Read.
In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works.
It said, in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works. The things that were named are the good works. Read.
And doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you.
Because a lot of you brothers rush into the marriage, and a wife has evil things to say of you. He said he doesn't do this. He doesn't work. He doesn't take care of his family. He doesn't take care of his kid. He's disrespectful. He doesn't help out in the house. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. She has evil things to say of you because why? You don't fit the characteristics. Or the brother. Oh, now we're going to get to the sister. And right now. Verse 6. Is that? 1 second. Yes, Titus 2, verse 3 now.
Titus chapter 2, verse 3.
Read.
The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers.
So the woman, aged woman, the woman that's older in its truth, or the woman that's of older age, read.
Not given to much wine.
The aged woman likewise, read it again.
The aged women likewise.
Why does it say the aged woman likewise? Likewise to what? Oh, no, you answered too much. Lamadia, right?
Yes.
I say your name right?
Yes.
Oh, praises.
Likewise to the bishops.
Yeah, the same thing. So the same characteristics that the bishops and the aged men are supposed to have, they're supposed to have similar characteristics too. Because these characteristics, it's not just men only. It's for men only, men specific, but women too. These are the characteristics that they're supposed to possess going into a marriage. So we're supposed to look through these scriptures. Okay, do I fit this? Do I fit that? Do I fit this? If you don't have these characteristics or these qualities, you're not ready for a marriage. You're not ready for a position for leadership, or you're not ready to be a counselor or anything in its truth. You got to fit these scriptures. Read on.
Not given to much wine.
So just like the bishop and the men, not to be given too much wine.
Teachers of good things.
Teachers, guess what, sisters? You have to know the Bible. Just like the men have to be apt to teach, the women have to know the scriptures too. Because why? The women are to teach too. Because some of the sisters, like I said, they might have a husband that doesn't believe. Guess what? She has to teach him in order for him to believe through her conversation. Or when it comes to the younger woman, she has to know the scriptures. Sister thing, because a lot of times the sisters think they don't have an active role in this truth, which is highly mistaken. Very wrong. They think that they don't have an active role. That's just the men that's going to get the kingdom. The scripture says likewise, apt to what?
Apt to teach.
Guess what, sisters? You have to know the scriptures. Just like the brothers are learning. You don't learn the scriptures to battle the brothers, but you have to be apt to teach. Now, I was going to show you who. Read.
That they may teach the young women.
You teach the young women, because there's certain things that the brothers cannot relate to the women. Certain things that we cannot understand. So you women understanding the scriptures, you're apt to teach. So that you can teach the what?
That they may teach the young women to be sober.
So you may teach the young woman to be sober.
To love their husbands.
To love their husbands. So you have to teach the young woman how to love the husband. Because the black woman don't know how to love the husband nowadays. What? In order to love the husband too, you got to have these characteristics. In order to show forth any type of love towards the husband, you got to have all the characteristics that we listed. Because if you have those characteristics, it'll be a natural affection towards the husband. He'll be able to feel that vibe with that spirit. He said, well, this is a gentle, delicate soul I have. Because you have the fruits of the Spirit. Because these all go into the fruits of the spirits or the characteristics of a godly man or a godly woman. Read.
To love their children.
To love their children. You have to be taught how to love your children before, even say if you don't have children, guess what? If you're not married, if you don't have children, it's the aged woman's job to teach you how to deal with children. So if you don't have children, guess what? We might put the sisters over the children's class to learn how to deal with children. The older women's over that. They show you how to deal with the children. They put you over the class. So now when you get married, guess what? You know how to deal with children. You know how to talk to children. Though there's sisters in its truth that don't know how to deal with children, it's the older women that's supposed to guide the younger woman how to deal with it, or how to talk to your child, how to love your husband. Read on.
To be discreet.
To be discreet. Read.
Chaste. Keepers at home.
Keepers at home. Read.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Obedient to their own husband.
Obedient to their own husband. To have self-control. To be discreet. To be chaste. To have self-control. To have discipline. Not to be shameful. Read on.
That the word of God be not blasphemed.
Mm-hmm.
Young men likewise.
Okay. Get me Luke 8 verse 3. And this is very important. Luke 8 verse 3. The characteristics you're supposed to have in this truth as well as coming into a marriage. Read.
Luke chapter 8 verse 3.
Luke 8 verse 3. Read.
And Joanna, the wife of Chuza, Herod's steward, and Susanna, and many others which ministered unto him of their substance.
So you have the women minister unto Christ about their substance. What can they do in this truth? How they're able to assist. Because we ask the brothers and the sisters, what's your gifts? What's your talents? Can you help assist? Support the troops. We have fundraisers. Sisters, get involved in the fundraisers. Brothers need their garments sewn. Help the brothers in sewing their garments. If you know how to cook, help out cooking. Any gifts you have that's to contribute to the body, you're supposed to minister your substance, the things you can do. Because guess what? Brothers are looking at that. We're looking at when a brother's looking for a wife, we're looking what substance, what can she bring to the table? Or she just is a pretty face just sitting there. What can she bring to the table? Does she have works? That's how brothers choose their wives. If they're in the spirit, if they're lustful, then they're like, she's pretty. She has a pretty face and a big butt. And that's what I like. But if brothers are spiritual, they say, what's her work? What does she do in Israel? I'm telling you, we hear it all the time. Or brothers who say, I'm interested in this sister. Brother, you're making a grave error. She doesn't do anything for this truth. She doesn't give any alms. She doesn't support the troops. She's not involved in any fundraisers. She just sits there and just reads. She just comes to Sabbath service. That's all she does. It's not a good look. She's not involved. She's not helping out. She doesn't help assist in the cleaning of the congregation when we ask her to. She argues with us. She's always involved in evil. She's always gossiping, lying, this and that. No. You're supposed to be involved. Read. Now get me Romans 16 verse 1. And to show you that, brother, we think about this. I talk about it all the time with brothers. With my wife. I'm like, that's a good sister right there. Oh, yeah. And it comes up, the same sister's names always comes up. Or brothers say, yeah, that's a good sister. There'll be sisters that need help in the congregation. And they'll be like, I need help. I say, oh, yeah? Help that sister out. A sister. And the first thing I say is, a sister. We're going to help her out. I don't even hesitate. I say she has works. She's been consistently involved in the works, and it's true. She has good alms. Help her out. There'll be sister that doesn't do anything. I'll be like this. No. We're not going to help you out. For what? The scripture said, no to whom you do good to. You have no works. You don't contribute. You just come here to take for the congregation. That's somebody that's contributing. You don't have. You're just here to take. But you have nothing to give. Remember, this is a spiritual bank here. What you give is what you get out. Just like with the Most High. What you put in is what you get. Remember when he said, when he gave you talents, and he said, because you have this, give him 10 cities. And the wicked servant that did nothing with his talent, what did he do? He said he buried his talent in the sand. He said what? Take all that, which is from his, and give it to the guy that has already. That's the way Christ operates. It's the way we operate. No, you don't have no works, no nothing. You have contributed nothing as truth. Your name is always in the mud. What we're going to give you, we're going to give to that sister. Because why? She has works. She's actively involved anytime she gets the chance to. We're looking at things like that. You got something to say?
No.
Oh, Romans 16, verse 1.
Romans chapter 16, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister.
Read.
Which is a servant of the church, which is at Cenchrea.
See, Paul wrote in the last book of Romans. The first thing he start off with the last chapters. I commend to you what?
I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant.
You see, it's like when he said our sister. You look at the word. He says Phoebe, our sister. He took pride and possession of that, our sister, because when sister is heavily, actively involved in the works, always helping out, always assisting, always involved in fundraisers or anything that we need help with. We say that's my sister right there. You know, listen to the brothers how we speak. That's my girl. That's my sister right there. Let me get a hug. Yeah, help that sister out. Oh, that's a good sister right there. No. We'll tell brothers, we're going to find a good man for you. Brother, you ain't right yet. Build yourself up. Because we're not going to give any old brother to that sister. That's how we talk. Now jump to verse, now go to verse 6.
Verse 6. Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us.
Wait, read verse 4. Verse 3.
Okay, verse 3. Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Christ Jesus.
It says Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Christ Jesus. Paul didn't just mention the man. Because he said, oh, is this a man? No. Paul mentioned Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Christ Jesus. So Priscilla had a major role in assisting in the body. She was a helper to this truth. Now go read on.
Who have for my life laid down their own necks.
Who have for both of them, the husband and the wife, laid down the neck. The man and the woman laid down their neck for the Paul. Read.
Unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles.
Not only Paul gives thanks, but all the churches of the Northern Kingdom nations. He says all the churches give thanks unto Priscilla and Aquila. So their name, because back then, guess what? We didn't have computers back then. We didn't have TVs or phones or anything like that. So their works reached the other congregations without computers or phones or internet, or they weren't able to see the YouTube videos of their good works. Their reputation traveled. Go to verse 6 now.
Verse 6. Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us.
Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us. He said much labor on us. Much means she had lots of labor and works in this truth. So sisters, we're looking at, these are the things that we're looking at you. You need to step your game up. I like to see all the sisters actively involved in fundraisers because, because they see sisters on a, well, you said what, in the fundraiser? What happened? Tell me what you said earlier with the sisters that was involved with the fundraisers.
Yes, on the fundraiser that we had this past Sunday, we split up into teams. We had the intersection in Philly, and on my team, I had two sisters with me, and I would, put up my Gatorade in the water.
Say their names.
The sister, I forgot their names, but
damn, was it Cecilia?
Cecilia and
who else? Yeah, that's her name, right? That's her name.
What's Azel's mother name? No. Azel's mother.
No.
You know
Adam.
her name?
No. Cecilia. Daniela. Okay, Cecilia and Daniela, right?
But these sisters put in
work.
work.
That was them.
They like me. I'm not really. I'll go to the car. I'll be like, oh, okay. Support the church fundraiser. Got $1 water.
He sucks at talking. That's what he's trying to say.
They went the extra mile for me. They actually went up to the car, like, listen, I know you don't want it. Listen, it's hot today. I know you don't want it.
They know how to talk.
They know how to talk. They knew they were go-getters.
They use their feminine wiles.
and we came out with a great amount. So all praises to those sisters. All praises.
So you see, the sister put in their bricks, and they made more. They got more than him, right?
Listen, that was my team. All right, we all put our brick in together. Okay, so all praises to them sisters. All right.
Yeah.
All
That was just one story that he told me earlier. That's why I was like, that's funny. All right, give me Acts chapter 9, verse 36.
Acts chapter 9, verse 36. Now, there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and alms deeds.
This woman, the Bible documents the sisters that's full of good works and alms deeds. We have sisters that just souls. Guess what? We be like, damn, you go to that sister, go to that sister. And we recognize that sister. Sure, I'm not good with names a lot of times, but I know the people that put in work. I'll tell you straight up. I know all the people that put in work, and that give me a headache too, for some reason. Read on.
This woman was full of good works and alms deeds.
Full of good works and what else?
And alms deeds.
And alms deeds. We look at that. The Most High looks at that. Read on.
Which she did.
Which she did, read.
And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died.
She was sick and died, read.
Whom, when they had washed, they laid her in an upper chamber. And for as much as Lydda was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto them 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay to come to them.
The disciples specifically went to Peter and said, yo, don't rush. Come here quickly. Read. That's how serious the matter was. That's how severe the issue was. They said, yo, you got to come quickly for this. Read.
Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber. And all the widows stood by him weeping and showing the coats and garments.
All the women were crying, weeping, showing all her works. They said, look at all her works, her alms deeds. It's no different when we had our sister, our beloved sister, when, like I said, she got sick and needed a liver transplant. It's the same thing happened. You have all the sisters and brothers there at the hospital weeping. We were weeping. Why? We wouldn't have done that for somebody that, have no works, no alms, or no reputation. We were like this, okay, we sent up prayers, but you had everybody from different states come up to the sister because we knew this. She had good works in Israel. We had videos that the brothers was posting up of the work she did. She remember the sister did this and that for the truth. So we were all weeping for her. Read. And we requested for the leadership to come. And all the leadership was at the hospital. Slept up. The bishop and the deacons slept over at the hospital. Stayed up all night. We all stayed up all night. Everybody was crying. The same thing because why? She had much work. Read on.
Which Dorcas made while she was with them. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed. And turning him to the body said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon, a tanner.
Show you, she put in so much work and was on high reputation that he resurrected her from the dead. Think about how heavy that is. They were so torn apart from losing her because some people, it's hard to lose them because they put in so much work. It's hard to find somebody else like that. You don't want to lose them. He said, man, if we lose this person, we lose a big part of this truth. So they said, yo, this sister contributed much works. We can't lose her. They cried. They said to the disciples, like, yo, we need her back. They resurrect her. They prayed the Most High to resurrect her. That's heavy. You had the top disciple was rushed to bring her back to life just because of her works and her alms deeds. Showing that we heavily looked at that. That's a spirit that you sister need to have. Brothers are looking at that. Get me Sirach 26, verse 13 now. Why your Bible so low?
It's still fresh. Sirach chapter 26, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
So the grace of a wife delighteth her husband. Knowing how to talk, having seasoned, being wait, I forgot. I'm not gonna. I'll misquote it. Knowing how to talk, how to conduct herself, how to attend to him. The grace of a wife, what?
Delighteth her husband.
It delighteth her husband. So you need to know these characteristics, how to delight your husband, how to be a graceful sister, how to be respectful. Read.
And her discretion will fatten his bones.
And her discretion, her ability to be able to discern, knowing when to talk, when not to talk, when to bring up certain situations, how to talk to someone, how to approach someone. That's the spirit of discretion. Knowing right from wrong. Knowing how to approach him. Knowing what tone to use. These things are discretion. Knowing what the man likes. Because like I said, a lot of women don't have discretion. They just talk whatever way they talk, want to talk. Whatever way they think they're going to get their attention. No, you have to have certain discretion. You got to know these things. Read on.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
Sister, that's an art. You have to practice that. Silent and loving woman. Brothers don't like a yapping sister that likes to talk all day. Like, brothers say one word and you just... I mean, the brother's silent and you're still talking. You know the brother, you don't have his attention. Brothers got ADHD a lot of time. We lose interest real quick. That's why I always tell my wife all the time, I be giving scriptures. My wife, I tell all the time. She be getting mad though. She gets mad. She be like, I'm like, get straight to the point. Get straight to the point. You gotta give me this big old story. I said, damn, how much it costs? What do you need? How much money do you need for food? I get so annoyed. She give me a big story. I'm like, instead of go straight to the house, you gotta walk around the house, tour the whole house, go to the side. I'm like, I want to go in the middle. I want to see the house first. They gotta see the whole house, around the whole house. Read that again.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
Sister gotta learn how to be silent a lot of times. Brothers don't like, cause sister talk. I went over in class. I told sister to read the history with David and Bathsheba. And when she went up to David, Nathan told Bathsheba to say this is very specific, like maybe like 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Bathsheba said 20 sentences. David, he said, all right, get Nathan. He didn't want to hear her. He didn't listen to her. Because David, he was on the throne, he was like this. He lost consciousness of what she was saying. Because brothers, we after 3 sentences to 4, we're done. Get straight to the point. You gotta learn that. How to be short, comprehending much. To use, I think that's what it says, to use short sentences, comprehending much, and a little. And a little. You gotta learn how to comprehend much and a little. Get straight to the point. A solid, and don't talk the brother's head open. The brother's like this. Damn, he gets home from work. You just want to talk all day. You like the brother's like this. Oh man. Yeah. Or you start talking about your nails. Brother's like this. Oh, I don't want to talk about nails. Oh, your hair. No, we don't want to talk about that. Yo, you see what Trump did? Yo, bring the destruction. Yo, you see, go over scripture, stuff like that. We want to talk about man stuff. You got to know what the man likes. That's why it says discretion. You got to know. You got to be able to, I told sister, you got to know how to read spirits. You got to know how to read the man's face. You can tell somebody's getting annoyed. You be like this. Get distracted, start looking at the phone. Start looking at his toenails.
Now you ignoring me?
Now you ignore me. Yeah, that's it. That's called discretion. Learn it. Oh, sister be sending me long emails. I told brothers, shalom brothers, how'd I get to the school? Find out about the truth. Boom, boom, boom. Me and brothers conversation, 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's quick and simple. Boom, boom, boom. I get emails from sister. Let me tell you about my life story, how my way leading up to the truth. Ever since I was a child, I always knew that there's something special about me. And then when I got 16, I asked myself, who are you? And then when I got 17, things happened in my life that I didn't know. And when I came to church, I said, wow, this is the truth. God, one sister did that. She said, let me show you my testimony. I replied back with, all praises, sis. Did you look at, have you registered for online class? He said, damn, brother, did you even read it? I said no. I can't. It was long. My sister was giving me the problems. I'm like, damn, man, can you just tell me what the problem is? Yeah, listen, he said this, he said that. Boom. We done. 2 minutes top. That's it. Like fast. Make your problems like fast food. Short, simple, to the point. We run a fast food counsel service. Short, simple, to the point, and always be happy. That's it. You make it work. We can't give you proper counsel if it's too long. Too long. I gave Officer E from a counsel to look at. I think it was like 10 pages. I told him to read it because I couldn't read that thing. I lost interest real quick. Get Sirach 36 verse 22. My wife go like this. Why ain't you saying that about me? You gotta know I'm gonna use you as examples.
Sirach chapter 36 verse 22.
Uh-huh.
The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better.
Sisters, learn how to take care of yourself. Learn how to dress yourself properly. Learn how to wrap your head wrap properly. Wrap your head wrap beautifully. Look at the different styles and designs. Look at the different styles and fashions in Israel. You come in here, I know a lot of sisters want to come to the truth. You can tell the difference. They all come to the truth looking like grandma. And then after a while, you see them evolve. They be like, okay, look like fashionable models. You be like, it's all praises. But every sister, when they come in the truth, I kid you not, I be looking at them, I say, she look like a grandmother. Every sister, when they first come in the truth, they got the head wrap that looks like the shower curtain. Right? You know what I'm talking about. The old granny skirt. The faded granny skirt. They think that's modest. As they evolve, they be, start dressing out more. Start having this twirly head wraps. Having the head wraps spin around the face like this. Yeah, they start having head wraps do all types of turns. I'm like, oh shoot. Having the head wraps that come like this. I'm like, damn, that's bad. Have the jewels on the head wrap. I'm like this. All right, I see you. I see it works. So it says the beauty of the woman cheereth the countenance of a man. Yes, a man love a beautiful woman. Dress yourself up. Make yourself look presentable. Not only that, give me Esther 2 verse 12. Last scripture after this. Yeah, in the Bible. Regular Bible. In the Bible. Esther 2 verse 12.
Esther chapter 2 verse 12. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women.
Mm-hmm.
For so were the days of their purification.
So the women had to be purified. Read.
So were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women.
So it says the man loveth nothing better than the beauty of the woman, cheereth the countenance of a man. So to purification, get oils, invest in oil. We have sisters in Israel that sells oils. We have plenty of sisters in Israel that sells oils. Frankincense and myrrh, what else to say?
Frankincense and myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors.
Sweet odors, read.
And with other things for the purifying of the women.
So know this. Don't why are you saying about women? We got to be presentable for you. That's the nigga woman in the world. Sorry for that. That's the worldly like woman. I gotta dress up for him. I gotta make myself look presentable and smell good for. Yes, you do. Just like the men got to take care of themselves. Comb their beards. Oil their hair. If they have beards to comb, some brothers just struggling. But some brothers they can't do that. Some brothers might have to get the beard patch. There's nothing they can do. But sister, you can do something about that. You can get oils.
My beard is coming. Is
Ask my wife. When I first got married, I said, I like that. I said, I like that. I like Esther chapter 2. Well, I bought her oils, right? I bought my wife oils. That thing got expensive, so I started buying oils. I bought her, like, after a while, I was like, I want to Harlem. I bought the big case of oil. I said, I want you to purify yourself. Because that's what I wanted. I followed this example of the scriptures. And the sisters should follow the example of the scriptures too. Purify yourself like Esther. And when you purify yourself and dress the part, get me Esther 15 verse 1, last scripture. This is the beauty talking about. A graceful spirit, the spirit of discernment. It's a beautiful woman. Not just your looks. It's a beautiful woman. Your spirit. I love a beautiful spirit. I could talk about a beautiful spirit all day. That's what man look at. That's a beautiful sister. That's a beautiful. No, that's not. We're not talking about that beauty. That's a beautiful sister. Her spirit is beautiful. I love her spirit. That's how we talk, and it's true. A man of God. That's how a man of God talk. Read.
Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 15, verse 1.
So this Esther in the Apocrypha 15 verse 1. Read.
And upon the third day, when she had ended her prayer, she laid away her mourning garments.
Because some of you sisters got mourning garments every day. Read.
And put on her glorious apparel.
Put on glorious apparel. Meaning, you should, before you even get married, you should be dressing nicely. Carry yourself, maintain yourself, dressing nicely. A brother looks at that too. He said, "Oh, I like how she dressed." Remember we used to talk about that before you marry your wife? He said, "I like her style." I'm telling you, very nice. I like how she coordinates the. I didn't say to coordinate the colors, but I like her matching her colors. It complements her skin tone.
Right.
Yeah.
It brings out her skin more.
Yeah, it brings out her skin. Esther put on her glorious apparel. Or when you, like I said, or for a sister that's married, dress the part. Put on something nice. Be dressed up. When your husband comes home, that's using discretion. That's using discretion. Your husband had a long day. It said the scripture, a beautiful woman cheereth the countenance of her husband. He comes home every day. He sees you beautifully dressed. He's like this. That's why I work. And you don't have a problem working. It has an issue. Yeah, I work and it's to provide for my household. And it's motivation. You be like, nice. Like this. I like that. Nicely done, nicely dressed, nicely smelling, Read on.
Verse 2. And being gloriously adorned, after she had called upon God, who is the beholder and savior of all things, she took 2 maids with her. And upon the one she leaned, as carrying herself daintily.
She leaned, carrying herself daintily. Meaning, she didn't have a manly spirit or rough spirit. She didn't walk with a bop or anything like that. She knew how to walk. Something you sisters need to learn how to walk daintily. You can't walk roughly. You gotta know how to walk delicately, showing forth your beauty. There's a way a woman walks. They used to have charm school. Yeah, not ghetto. Yeah, you have some sisters walk with a stomp, with a lean. I see every day because I'm in the worst parts where I work. I'm in the worst parts. Oh my gosh! I try to train these little girls. They be yo. I say yo. Is that the way how you talk to Mr. Israel? They be like, no, Mr. Israel. They put their head down. I like that. That's how you talk to me. Don't yell. I don't like Mr. Israel doesn't like it the way you yell at me. I don't like the way I yell. You're too loud. Don't be loud. Stop running in my classroom. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's how I talk to them. And they get, the ghetto loudmouth girls, they understand it. They loud, but when they get to me, they say, I'm sorry, Mr. Israel. I'm like, yeah. I say, I don't like that. I'll fix it. I tell them straight up, I don't like that thing. Read that again. They were what?
And upon the one she leaned, as carrying herself daintily.
You need to know how to sit. I tell the girl, some of the girls, they be sitting their legs open like this. Legs out. They sit like, man, no, that's not. There's a way a woman sits. You don't sit with your legs wide open, right? You sit with your legs closed, cross. We had to have these type of classes, etiquette class. Legs closed sometimes. Not if it's not closed, cross sometimes. These are things I observed. For a daintily woman. They don't have the fist pump. Some of them do the hand thing. I don't know. You don't have to, but I just noticed that the real feminine women, they do those things.
A lot of them got Tim's on.
Yeah, got Tim's on. You gotta know how to be dainty, know how to talk, know how to conduct yourself, know how to walk, read.
And she was ruddy.
Beautiful.
Verse 4. And the other followed, bearing up her train.
She had a beautiful dress on.
Verse 5. And she was ruddy through the perfection of her beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And her countenance was cheerful and very amiable, but her heart was in anguish.
So it said her countenance was in cheerful. You always have a delightful smile on you. You're always smiling. You know, you're not always got an attitude, always sucking your teeth. Her countenance was cheerful. We're looking for that delights a man. Is there anything else on that? And verse 7.
Verse 7. Then lifted up his countenance that shone with majesty. He looked very fiercely upon her. And the queen fell down and was pale and fainted and bowed herself upon the head of the maid that went before her.
She know how to act. Sister, there's a way how you act to get the attention of a brother. A lot of times it's not through your words. It's how you act out. She fainted. She, your facial expression. The brother like this. Yo, everything all right? Yo, why do you look like that today? Yo, you okay? A lot of times, non-verbal communication will get the attention of a man. Without verbal communication, a lot of times, she very well was able to act it out to get his attention. He said he was fierce. They say he was like a lion. This man was the most feared man in the kingdom. But guess how she got him? By her acting, without verbally communicating to him. Read.
Then God changed the spirit of the king into mildness, who in a fear leaped from his throne.
He leaped. He said, "Oh, are you all right?" He leaped. He jumped to her. Read.
And took her in his arms.
He held her. Some sisters will fall. Brother let her fall like this. That's why you fell. But some brothers, the sister's so sweet, beautiful countenance, beautifully dressed, very gracious, very daintily, respectful, has discretion. Brother like this. I got you, baby. What's wrong? Why are you like that? Because she has that lovely spirit. And he knows he doesn't want anything. He sees anything wrong with her. He wants to attend to her because he feels bad. Because she's so delightful and graceful. Read on.
Till she came to herself again and comforted her with loving words.
He comforted her with loving words. This is the most fearsome man. And you women wonder why you don't get comforted with loving words. My husband speaks like this to me. Follow Esther. I don't care how fierce you think your husband is, how much of a gangster he is. He wasn't as fierce as this guy, or Horus. They said he was the most feared man in the kingdom. Esther fainted by looking at him. So you telling me he's able to comfort her with loving words? If you don't act like Esther or conduct yourself, your husband won't comfort you with loving words? There's a way how you do it. There's a way how you act. Use discretion. Read. I tell you, sisters, read your foremothers. Become your foremothers. Read.
And said unto her, Esther, what is the matter? I am thy brother. Be of good cheer. Thou shalt not die, though our commandment be general. Come near.
And that's it. So we're gonna conclude tonight's class. With that, I said it was gonna be a short class. I apologize once again to the brothers.
No comment.
We started late. That's why. If we didn't start late, we would have ended earlier. That's the reason why. Yes, that's the reason why. It was my fault too, but you know.
No comment.
So we're gonna end class with that today. Any question? Watch Deacon Asaph on Friday Night Raw. One of these days I'll do a question and answer again. Also, like I said, we need help with donations. Can you put the links up for donation? We need help with donation as well as the IYC fundraiser. Put all the links up on Periscope as well as. Yep, just copy and paste. No, the schedule change. What happened? Oh, that's cold. Once it says Officer Jordan, now I know why my email went unanswered.
Oh,
I was surprised to say you a short one.
Nothing short. MOV. Move.
Yeah, I gotta go back and find her email.
Right.
Shoot.
Oh, so now I